Hey everybody, Steve and Michael here, and today we are taking a look at the GVM 1200D. This is a 2-light kit, and now before we get into the review, I just want to say that GVM did send me this panel, so thank you very much to the folks at GVM, but they did not pay me to say anything, and as always, these are my brutally honest opinions. So let's jump over to the main table and let's take a look at what comes inside the box. Okay, let's take a look at what comes in the kit. Now first off, you do get this very, very nice case. It is very rock solid. Let's go ahead and zoom out so you can see this a little bit better. Very nice, holds the lights very well. Let's go ahead and unzip this. And inside you are going to get the 2 panels with barn doors. You are going to get this box, and inside this box are the power strips. You're going to get 2 of these, and you do have a fairly long cord here, which is always very nice. And then you're going to get 2 boxes, and these have stands in them. Now, what's very interesting is that these stands are kind of like a very tripod-y stand. The one thing I will show you is that these stands are a little bit hard to open, and I think that's because they're new, but you just be careful. This could be a finger pinching hazard. It is a little bit difficult to kind of open. I kind of have to slide my fingers in between here, which is not great, and kind of pull up. I mean, this thing is loose. So it is very difficult. Let me use the floor over here and try to pull these up. Again, not the best tripods in the world, but once you have them up, they are very, very nice. Now, in order to sandbag these, you will have to flatten these out, and that will make this thing very, very, very short. And there are, of course, 3 sections. So these are pretty good, much better than any GVM kit I've ever used, but again, still a little bit on the cheap side. There's no springs in, there's no air cushion. They're just straight up budget-friendly little tripod legs, but there you go, not bad, pretty tall. Okay, so here we are with the back of the panel, and let's do a quick run through of the controls. Now first off, we do have, you have full battery, you have a nice battery indicator at the top here, and the viewing angle on this thing is fantastic. You are going to be able to see it from every angle, which is great. I love that. We have this now in what is called rotate mode. I'm sorry if you can't see it. If the display is a little bit blurry, this is about as best as I could get it. And in rotate mode, you have full control here. You can go through all the modes. You can go from 5600 Kelvin all the way down to 3200 Kelvin. And I do love the way that this panel, when you change the color temperature, it just gently lowers itself down to that color temperature. So very, very cool. Again, you have from 0 to 100, which is cool. And now let's take a look at the mode button. This button on the bottom here, you have your up and down arrow, but you also have your mode button. You press your mode button, and that goes into the slave, and press it again into the master mode. Now, GVM has one of the absolute best slave and master modes. It just works like magic. There's no syncing involved, it just works, which is pretty amazing. After the slave and master mode, and again, you can control what channel you want these on. There's up to 12 channels a panel, and that's that. So let's go ahead and hit the mode button again. And now you're in what is called app mode. This means you can actually use it to use the phone app with this, which is super awesome. But let's go back to rotate, and let's go ahead and press in this button, and that'll take you into your HSI. And of course, you can control your color or your brightness here. Press it one more time, and that gives you a saturation control, which is nice. And then pressing it again takes you right back into the CCT mode. Now, let's go ahead and let's dive into the phone app. All right, so let's talk about these panels and the GVM app. Now, as you can see in the corner, all you have to do is, this is already connected, but I could, let's go ahead and unconnect so I could show you how this connects. You hit the top there, and you connect. And there we go, full control over that one. Now we have the panel in app mode, And we have full control. We can go from 3200 Kelvin all the way up to 5600 Kelvin. It goes all the way down to 0%. And not too bad. It does have a little bit of a fade. So there we go. And as you can see, I'm moving the app, and you have to kind of go slow, because if you go really fast, it takes a while. There we go. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and color temperature. Change this. Let's whip this all the way around. Now, as you can see, it changes pretty quickly. It's got a nice gradual change, so you're not getting that, that jump that you normally do. Now let's go ahead and go up into HSI mode, and right away we have full control over HSI, hue control in the app, we get saturation control in the app, all very nice. Then we have a couple things. I'm going to turn off this panel, and we have a couple things. We have candle, which I really don't like. It's kind of flickery, and you can control the speed, but it just looks like it's flickery. It does have lightning, which is pretty good. Cop car is pretty good. Candles we discussed, not great. This is TV. TV is just okay. It's more like candle. Bad bulb is actually not terrible, but not great. I wish it also changed levels. It's just one brightness, and it doesn't really feel like a bad bulb unless you sit here and constantly change the brightness. Then you get your little party lights here, which you have the control over speed, which is very nice, and you can decide how much you want it to change. You get disco as well, which has a lot of controls here, so you can actually slow it down a bit, or not. It doesn't look like it's going to slow down. Then you have your paparazzi, which is a lot like the lightning. So here is something very, very interesting that I'm going to show you. Let's go ahead and turn on this panel. And now let's go ahead and, now something you'll notice is this app only controls one panel. That is because, and as you can see on the app, I could flip to channel 2, but as you can see, it only works, it's only affecting channel 2 here. So there is channel 2 working. I can go back to 5600 Kelvin, but let's go to channel 1, and you can see it just works on channel 2. Now you have the option here on the app to change channels, but it doesn't allow you to actually load in both these panels. It's either one or the other. The only way the app works is if you take, let's go ahead and change the mode on this to slave, and immediately it changes over. Now when you press the off button, they both go off, they both go on. I think GVM really missed an opportunity here where you can actually, if you could have control over both panels, people who do music and things like that could sync them, and they could really, and they could be independent of one another. But unfortunately, you have to slave and master one together, and unfortunately, they are tied together. Even though the app gives you the ability to switch channels. So I don't know if this is something that they can fix in a firmware update or something they can fix within the app, or whether just these panels are the way that they are, and hopefully in the next model we'll get that ability. But that would be really great if we had the ability to control these individually. I know there are other lights that have Bluetooth. You can control them individually, and that's probably what this rocker is for, but I would have liked to have seen that feature in these panels as well, and really just across the board. GVM does have one of the best slave and master controls. I mean, it just works. It's like magic. It just works, and I really love the fact that GVM has done this, where it's so simple you don't even need to connect it. It just works right off the bat. GVM has really done a great job there. But again, here, because on the app we have the ability to control channel, I would have loved, even in their Wi-Fi panels, if there was a way to control these. But all in all, not bad. Okay, so my final thoughts on the GVM 1200D is this is a very nice entry panel. If you are doing Zoom calls, YouTube videos, if you're doing some talking head, not necessarily professional, but some talking heads, or you just want some panels to have around the house for other projects, things like that, maybe something for your church. This is really, really nice. This works very well. The light quality out of this thing is really nice. Not the brightest panel I have seen, but definitely an improvement over older GVM lights. Things I really like here is it is bright, but things I really like here are, let's go up to 5600 Kelvin. When you go down to 5500 Kelvin, you are going to see a jump there, but then the rest of this is just very, 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 very smooth. They've really come a long way. And then when you get to 3200, you're going to get the lights shutting off. So I do wish that it was smooth all the way through, but I do understand that there are just different LEDs turning on and off. So that's fine. The HSI mode, again, is really nice. Again, you're going to get that very smooth. There's only like maybe 1 or 2 jumps between some of these. But all in all, very nice, very smooth, really nice there. A lot of controls on here. GVM still has one of the best master and slave modes. It just works like magic. It just works. There's no pairing. There's no nothing. Really, I've always loved that functionality. Let's talk about some other things we really like about this. Let's spin this around. I love these new knobs they have here. Let's say that you're loose here. Let's say you leave it unloose there. It's going to actually, here you go. There's, oops. Let's try it again. Not that one. So let's say you leave it loose here, and let's leave this one quasi-tight. It's going to catch, so it's not going to fall. They put ball bearings and springs in here, and I think it just really spins very nicely now. Very flexible. You can get it pretty much at any angle that you want. So very, very nice job well done on these. Swinging around the back, you have their typical heat sink back here, which works well. You get their typical control box here. What I really love is that you can see the screen from any angle. I love when people do that. I hate when I tilt the light and I have it up high and I can't see what it's set to. So great job there. And I really like these stands. I like how they fold up kind of this way, and they're very, very compact to take with you. And again, this is just very, very nice. Now, let's talk about some of the cons here and what I'd like to see in the next model. First off, I really miss not only the metal barn doors, which, yes, I know were a pain to get on and off, but I miss the thicker plastic barn doors. You have these very warpy, very bendable barn doors. I guess if somebody hits it, so it bounces like that and doesn't break, I guess that's why they made them that way. But again, I'd worry about these snapping. So just be careful of the barn doors. Now, on the side here, you do get a lot of light leak. There are holes here, and then the rest of this is clear plastic. So you will need to use some either Cinefoil, black wrap, or some tinfoil or gaff tape in order to cover this up if you do not want light leaking out of every single side and also out of the emblem here. Now, one thing I would like to see as an improvement is if they can maybe, I know there are holes in here, but maybe paint this strip black so you're not getting that massive light leakage. And probably paint the little plastic things here on the knobs where the knobs connect to the yoke. Paint that all black, and I think that'll eliminate some of the light leak. So there you go. And then with the stands, I really do like the functionality of the stands, but when you mount the light the other way, when you mount it this way, you are going to see a lot of bending, especially if you have these things fully extended. So you might want to consider getting different light stands. Also, if you have them up, if you have the sections up almost to their max, you're going to definitely get a lot of bending. So that's, if you're going to sling them that way, you might want to consider using something different like a C-stand or a heavier light stand. And lastly, I would love to see, to be able to control these individually. In the app, it gives you the ability to change channels. So I really wish that you could change channels on these. But if you want to do that, you can take a look at their Bluetooth version, Bluetooth lights, because these are Wi-Fi only. And unfortunately, I don't think there is a way to upgrade the firmware in here. There's no USB or anything, so you're kind of stuck with what's in the panel. So one thing I do want to show you is these are brand new, and because I've been twisting them around while they're locked, it is already peeling away at the aluminum. So that is something to watch out on these stands. You're going to be able to chip these very easily. So not the best quality tips in the world. So that's it. Those are my thoughts, but I want to know yours. So leave your questions and comments in the notes below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to mash the bell button to be notified when we drop a brand new video. And feel free to use the links below as it helps out the channel. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and this is new to me. And thanks for stopping by.